You'll never want to buy a bag of soil again after hearing my story. In this video, I'm going to share with you why I mix most of my soils from scratch and how I revamp and recondition them for the next growing season. Let's get right into it. In today's example, I'm going to be revamping and reconditioning this used soil that I used this past growing season. It's just mainly dirt with a little bit of perlite in it. I'm going to be adding some organic fertilizers and a few other simple ingredients, and this will be as good as new. Let's get going. First, I'll be adding just some simple organic fertilizers to get this soil going. The first one I'll use is an all-purpose organic granular food for the soil. I'll have links down in the description box below on everything that I'm using today. I usually just throw about a handful or two per wheelbarrow, and we're good to go. Next, I'll be adding some organic blood meal into the soil. Thirdly, I'll be adding some fish emulsion into the mix. Thirdly, I'll be adding some coconut coir into the mix. Since this is mainly dirt with a little bit of perlite, I usually like adding peat moss or cocoa coir into it, which is just ground up coconut husk. These guys help to hold water in, make it a little bit easier for the roots to grow through too. I usually put a decent amount of this guys in. Most of the times I buy the big bags of peat moss. The big, huge squares, they're about 3 cubic feet. I usually buy a couple of those one time. I don't have any today, but the coconut coir is pretty much the same thing. It's real similar. These guys are awesome for growing food. They work amazing. So once we got these guys in, the next thing I'll add is just actually a couple more ingredients. If you haven't seen my other video where I show you how I was growing pathetic tiny ginger until I added these ingredients into my soil, then I'll leave a link above for that video and down in the description box below. With a few simple ingredients in my soils, I have found that I am growing among the best foods that I ever had up until now. So every single year, I'm constantly fine-tuning, tweaking, and refining what I add into my soils. I usually do my best to keep it organic and simple. Keep the ingredients very simple. I stay away from synthetic as much as possible. So one of the major reasons why I stay away from pre-mixed bag soils at the store. I mean, it has to be an absolutely bargain for me to buy like a bunch of bags, right? It's because a lot of them have too much water weight in them. Am I the only one seeing this in a lot of the pre-mixed bags of soil, right? You go in there and you wanting to buy, you know, 2-3 cubic feet of pre-mixed soil in the bag, right? It's already ready to go. Tear it open, pour it in a pot, and you're just ready to grow. For some reason, majority of the time, I go to the stores to check out the soils. They got so much water in them. It's like you're buying pipe water from these guys, and they're only giving you maybe 75% of what they're actually claiming in the bag. You know, so if anything, I look for dry bags, if they even have any, of what I'm looking for. If they got pre-mixed bags of soil that are dry and they're packed good into those bags, then those are the ones I would go for, honestly, especially if you can find them organically. But I usually go for the peat moss. I'll grab a couple bags, big squares of peat moss, which is about 3 cubic feet, and then I'll buy some perlite on the side. I'll just buy 1 or 2 bags of perlite, and then I'll look for the organic fertilizers, see what kind they got. And then one of the most important ingredients though that you can be adding into any soil, whether you're mixing your own at home or, you know, even if you find maybe good pre-mixed soil at the store, is adding your own compost. As simple as that sounds, it will give you some of the best results ever. It's just having your own compost, whether it's just kitchen scraps that you're throwing outside in a plastic barrel maybe, or something, trash can, right? And you're cooking up your own compost. I have found personally, for me, that compost and red pumice rock have been giving me some of the best results in some of the foods that I have been growing in this past quite a few seasons already. So right here we got some perlite. I'll be throwing some of these guys in, which, you know, if y'all know what perlite is actually made out of, leave a comment down below, because I'm curious to know how much people know what perlite actually is made out of. Because I know the first time I found out what perlite was made out of, I was quite surprised. I had no idea it was made out of this one certain ingredient. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I was doing this. What I normally do before I start pouring my perlite in is that I'll put it in one of my, I got like a bucket with holes that I drilled on the bottom. I'll put the perlite in and I'll wash it first, because the ingredient of perlite is pretty close to glass. For any of you who guessed it, I'm sure some of you got it correct, but perlite is made out of heated quartz crystals, which is pretty cool. But since it's like glass, honestly, I almost forgot. I normally fill up some kind of container and then I'll just rinse it and strain out all the dust, right? You don't want to be inhaling this fine perlite dust because it's literally like microscopic glass. I'll just leave that there and I'll rinse a bucket and be right back. All right, once I got my rinsed perlite, we'll just add I just do a couple handfuls in this example. I usually go with, honestly, if I'm just doing peat moss with the perlite, I'll usually go, now I'm doing, say 10 shovels of peat moss. And then I'll do like 2 shovels of perlite and 2 or 3 shovels of the red pumice rock that I'll show you shortly. Okay. Once we got these guys in, and then actually I usually add some of this ingredient also, I'll show you right now. Just good old simple sand. I like to add about a 1:10 ratio of sand into my soil mixes. So for every, say 10 scoops of peat moss, I'll throw in 1 nice shovel of sand. But I'll just scatter it. Okay. Okay, now for one of the coolest ingredients that I've been making recently, which is this black gold tar. I shouldn't say tar, but this right here, this black gold liquid is simply coffee grinds with crushed up charcoal. So it's a biochar. It's basically what this is right here. Smells wonderful too, but it's basically just crushed up charcoal, right, that I smashed in my little pesto and mortar right here. Right. So I got my rock and my little, I take pieces of charcoal just like this that I made in my own fire pit. Nice pieces of charcoal, just plain charcoal, not activated charcoal. You could use that also. And I just put pieces in this stone like so, right? And then of course I'm like using it on a table, but you know, and I just smash them up. Into tiny bits and pieces. Literally almost like powder, just little bits and pieces. That's what I do. And then I throw them in that bucket, and then I just throw all my coffee grinds inside with a little bit of water. And this right here is just, you know, pure nitrogen, right? Coffee grinds is like packed with nitrogen. So this black ooze, I'm gonna sprinkle it all over. It's all the good stuff right there. I've been putting charcoal in my soil mixes for quite a few years now, and I have noticed the difference, you know, of adding charcoal. Right, because anytime you see, say like a forest, right, when it has a natural fire, everything just comes back so beautifully, right, in a natural sense. So coffee grinds, charcoal. And now, red pumice rock is what I add also. I've been getting really good results with this rock in the past few seasons. And I get them in a really small size. You know, so I'll have links in the description box to all these ingredients, even a fairly small size pumice stone, right, which is basically volcanic rock. But I find that most of the food that I've been growing, herbs, sweet potatoes, ginger, turmeric, they love the pumice rock. So I put a good amount of that. Like I said, if it was 10 scoops of peat moss, I would easily put at least 2 scoops of this red cinder pumice rock. But since I'm already adding the perlite and the pumice rock, they give excellent drainage, right? They just do great for drainage. Now, once we got all our ingredients in the soil, now I just mix them with my hands. You know what? I'm just going to add the rest of this. I've been mixing my own soil for quite a few years now, and you know, it is a little bit more work, but I find that if you just buy the raw ingredients and put it together yourself, you get twice as much soil for the same price, right? So this is what I do, and I find that I even get better results than a lot of the pre-mixed bag soils, because who knows what is in there, right? Some of them are pretty good and high quality. A lot of the others, you know, they're kind of like mediocre to low quality, especially the cheap bags of pre-mixed soil. You know, you pretty much get what you pay for, right? I would stick with the brands that are well known. You know, they're known for quality if you're going to buy the pre-mixed bags of soil, right? I like to mix them myself and throw in my own organic fertilizers and all the ingredients that you've seen today. And there you have it, guys. How I revamp and recondition my soil back to new with a few simple organic fertilizers and the other ingredients such as sand, charcoal, coffee grinds, red pumice rock in small size. And that's about it. With, actually, I almost forgot the main ingredient. I almost forgot one of the most important ingredients to mention, and that is just some compost from my kitchen scraps that I just throw in a pile in the corner, and then it cooks into black gold, right? So this is all just plant-based kitchen scraps right here. You know, even got a mango seed. That is just pure compost already. So, you know, I throw at least a good shovel full, at least. I got a few more barrels to go, wheelbarrows to mix manually. But this right here will be able to fill a good sized container, right? Or a couple nice big pots where I can start growing my ginger, turmeric, or even sweet potatoes. And there you have it, guys. How I revamp and recondition my soil back to new. With just a few organic fertilizers, some simple kitchen compost, and a few of the other magical ingredients I mentioned, such as red pumice rock, charcoal, some coffee grinds, and a little bit of sand with the perlite, a little bit of perlite. If you would like my free Eat the Rainbow Shopping Grocery List PDF or my Big Bites Meal Planner PDF to help you stay organized when you're shopping and even planning your meals throughout the week, then comment the word gifts down below and I'll be sure to get that out to you. If you love gardening and enjoy eating some of the most simple and delicious foods that you can grow right in your backyard, then watch this video right here, where I share with you how I was growing pathetic, tiny ginger until I added this into my soil. Watch this video right here, and I'll see you there.